Right. Today we're going to be converting images into ASCII, and then we're going to take those ASCII text and put it into GIMP. But I'm going to show you some issues you might encounter when you're doing this and how to fix it. So you're going to go to this site here and you're going to drag and drop any image that you want, but it has to be less than 5 MB. But that's not really an issue because you're going to lose a lot of detail when you do it this way, as you should expect. So 5 MB isn't really a huge limit. You just have to shrink your image a little bit. So I recommend an image with a high amount of contrast because as you see with ASCII, it's just characters and symbols. So you only get two colors anyways. So even though there are characters that will provide a little bit like less filled in, so it has like smoothness, it's not going to really come out well if there's a whole bunch of colors, and especially colors that are super similar to each other. So once you take your image here, you're going to get a few options and you can select what kind of art you want with what characters you want. I typically just use 1, 3, or 4. You can use 2 if you like this like super blocky filled in, but you can see that with these characters, there's not a whole lot of detail. So if this is for like text or something, then you can use these. But if you're using like a straight up image, then you're going to want to use something with a little bit more granularity. So we're just going to keep it on 1 here, and then you're going to get these other options for the amount of columns, the brightness, and the contrast. So you might need to adjust these to make it so that your image is more distinguishable with features inside of it. But if your image is pretty good with just a small amount of colors, then you won't need to adjust these much, and typically you can just keep these maxed out. And with the amount of columns, you want to just keep this as a pretty low-ish number because although you can get super high like resolution granularity with a lot of columns, it doesn't really fit well when you do it with ASCII the way like you want to use it, because there's a little bit of charm when you have a very small amount of columns and it's trying to convert something. So I typically don't use more than 120 columns. So once you have your text here, you get this copy to clipboard, so you don't have to like drag and select it. And if you paste it into a program like Notepad, um, it'll actually come out pretty fine and everything's going to be lined up. But if you go into GIMP and you paste this in here instead, you'll find that all of your alignment is screwed up. That's because different characters have different size bounding boxes. So you can see with these dashes, they're smaller than the equal sign. And like if it's just using straight up blank spaces, then the thinness is going to be even worse. So your alignment's going to be all over the place. But I'm going to show you to fix that. So you're going to take your text that you have here and you're going to convert these into full width. And you're going to go click on the little full width here and you're just going to click copy. So if you paste this into a Notepad program, you can see it looks a lot different, possibly not even resembling what you're trying to do anyways. But if we do this text in GIMP, you'll notice that all of our boxes are the same size. And this actually converts everything into the same ratios. But you see that it's very blurry, especially with some text. That's because with like every other font that's just basic English, they might not support vectors for these characters in full width. So you want to download a font that has dedicated full width characters. So you're going to use either Microsoft Yahe or you're going to use Noto Sans CJK. And you're going to go to this GitHub page and you're just going to download this OTF file and install it. And then once you install it, it'll just give you all of the available options here. You can see just bold, medium, light, stuff like that. But I'm just going to use Yahe. So you're going to take all your text here and you're going to select the font. You see, we can just use Yahe, Yahe bold, but we're just going to use regular Yahe. You can see that now the text is a little bit smoother because the vectors are available so that it can scale better. And if you'd like, you can manually select things and just give things a different color, stuff like that. Use it with this one. There you go. So if you want to manually go through and pick every color and do stuff like that, or if you just want to keep it black and white, you can do that as well. And then you can just export it or do whatever you'd like with it.